Hey, what's up, guys? Roland Wolf here. Just want to get into a couple quick trade recaps from this week. And I had a really good day yesterday, actually. And this right here is from yesterday. Had a couple shorts and longs, and made about 10 grand yesterday. So I'm actually closing in now on 200,000 in profits, and it's pretty amazing to think about. I mean, I don't even know. It's just been kind of I don't know. It's just been grinding every day and keeping my head down, and the profits keep adding up. So we'll just keep on doing that. Anyways, let's get into yesterday, because I do feel like it was one of my best trading days so far. And we'll talk a little bit about Bitcoin and sector momentum and sympathy plays, because that's all I've been really playing for the last couple weeks. Have been plays in sympathy to Bitcoin, which, if we get into the Bitcoin chart here, if you don't know, you should. It's been on a monster run this year. Back April, May, June, it ran from 1,000 to 3,000, and during that period of time, I made about $12,000 or $13,000 playing, not Bitcoin. I don't trade cryptocurrencies. Nothing against it, it's just not for me. But I was playing penny stocks, Bitcoin penny stocks, and there's a handful of them that seem to run in sympathy to Bitcoin when Bitcoin's running. And like I said, yeah, back during that run, I made quite a bit of money playing those. So after it rejected 3,000 right here and came back down, corrected almost 50%, come on, dude. Sorry, having technical difficulties over here. Anyways, after the correction, it started grinding back up, and it broke this 3,000 level a couple weeks ago and basically went straight to 4,400. When on the 3,000 break, it immediately brought my attention back to those stocks: BTSC, BTCS, GAHC, BITCF, MGTI now, SING now. There's a handful of them, so my attention was turned to those, and let's get into those charts quickly. I'll start with the BTSC daily chart, and this was the main one I was ready to watch, because back during the May, June, April run, it ran from 2 cents to 20 cents, 10 times your money, and it was kind of the leader, I'd say, out of all these stocks. So that was kind of the main one I was watching, and unfortunately, it was actually not the best out of the group. I'd say the best was BITCF, if you go to the daily chart here. And BITCF over the last week and a half ran from 35 cents to $3. I mean, a monster move. But I didn't play any of this run up because I missed it. I didn't want to chase it, essentially. And like I said, my attention was kind of on BTSC. We have BTCS here, which was also running. It also ran back during, this is actually June here, and I made about 7,000 on this move, which, I mean, it pales in comparison to what just happened. But here's another one where I missed these 2 days and then didn't want to chase. Partially because of this resistance back here, back in early 2017, back in January, at the 25 cent level, and then this resistance at the 35 cent level. I just didn't want to chase this one as well. The reason I played BTSC last week was because it seemed to be the least overextended out of the bunch, and I was actually buying this one at 8 cents, and I was selling it somewhere in the 11 cents, 12 cent range. and last week I made about 10 grand on BTSC alone. So that worked out for me, but I did miss out on several other plays. But let's get into yesterday's trades. And since I missed BITCF's run up, I was actually watching it for a short, and it's the only one out of the bunch that I personally would have shorted, because I don't really like shorting low price stocks, stocks under 50 cents. So Monday, actually, I got an end of the day short in, which is not my usual strategy, especially not on a green day, but watching the price action, not just on this stock, but also on Bitcoin itself during that time, is kind of what led me to take a position. And just this huge kind of blow off top volume here day, where it's been going parabolic, and then you get the gap up and another huge rip. So I'll get into the 5-minute chart and kind of try to map out what happened here. So here is the end of the day Monday, and you can see the run up here. It was a great day for BITCF again, and huge volume. But I was watching how it was going to react to $3, and from what I saw, and once again, this is the 5-minute chart, but the 1-minute chart kind of tells the same story, was a big rejection of 3. You can see this tail here, this topping tail, and then you see the next 10 minutes it tried to reclaim 3 again, and it got stuffed at 3 again. So I ended up getting in short here only because I was a little bit concerned that if I didn't get in, there may not be shares for me the next day, which was Tuesday, yesterday. So I ended up getting 4,000 shares here at a 291 average. I believe it was 291 average. And it was risky. It wasn't... It's definitely not the safest strategy, that's for sure, and not something I normally do. But like I said, I was also watching the Bitcoin chart, which was showing some weakness, and this thing was just completely overextended. I would have been ready to cut losses, any sort of gap up or break of 3, really. But woke up Tuesday morning to a sweet gap down. I mean, Bitcoin was correcting, and along with Bitcoin, so were all these penny stocks. Anyway, so market opened, and it just was a beautiful collapse. I actually started I was selling in chunks this whole way down. I think the last bit I sold was at about 150, and the level I personally was watching was right around 120, 125. If you go back a couple days, you can see some support there. And actually that support held yesterday. Anyways, I ended up getting out at a 175 average. And if we go back here, let me see. Well, never mind. It was about a $4,700 profit. Now with a huge panic like this, if I wasn't short anyways, I would definitely be looking for a dip buy on this. But I was short, and luckily I had gotten out at this 175 level. And I was looking for a dip buy, and I got a dip buy about 15 minutes later, I'd say. It wasn't very long, but the second I covered up these shares, I was looking for a dip buy. And like I said, if you look back here from a couple days ago, you see the support here in the 120s, and you got a perfect bounce off that level. Anyways, I ended up getting 6,000 shares on the bounce, and it was, I forget my exact entry, but I think it was around 138, something like that. And and then we got a sweet bounce. I mean, it was a pretty clean, trouble-free bounce. It trended really nicely, and I ended up dishing off shares in the 180s and 190s, and made another $3,300 going long there. So to me, these two trades, I mean, that's like my ideal. That's kind of like my two ideal trades, and something that I've never really been able to do. I don't think I've ever done successfully go short and long on the same stock within the same day or two. So that's kind of obviously was a risky short that worked, and a dip buy. So I had an overnight short and dip buy there that were successful and profitable. Also shorted MGTI yesterday, and I'm not really gonna get into this too much, but I made a couple $100. This, I actually had bought this last Friday, right when it was I had bought it earlier in the day and then added to my position after they released a PR, and also Tim Sykes bought it as well, so that helped out a little bit for sure. But it was running with Bitcoin. They were trying to cash in on the Bitcoin play as well. So we got a gap up on Friday here, and I had sold it right into the spike, 175 or 176, a couple thousand shares, and made a couple $1,000s on that one. And then yesterday, with all the other Bitcoin plays failing, I got a quick short in on this, but this one hasn't been as volatile as the other ones, so I didn't stick around too long and just made a couple $100 on that. And we'll get into one more trade, and this one's from last week. This is BTSC. I think I touched on it a little bit, but let's get into this. Here is a 5-minute chart of BTSC. Now this was last Friday, actually. I'm sorry, this was last Thursday, and I was watching this one, and it was showing some good strength during the day. It wasn't running quite as much as the other ones, and it wasn't quite as overextended as the other ones. So that's why I got into this one long, because I didn't want to chase the others. And I got an end of day as it was breaking this set of highs over here around 8 cents, and looking to hold this into the next day. Now I got a pretty decent size position. I think I got 100,000 shares at Schwab. I'm sorry, 100,000 shares at Interactive Brokers, and 200,000 shares at Schwab. And reason for that was Interactive Brokers sometimes, actually oftentimes with these OTCs, when they're running the cheap priced ones, they put price caps on them, and you have to call the broker, or you have to jump on the chat with them and ask them to remove it for every single order that you try to make through them, which can be really frustrating if these things are moving quickly. So I only put in one order there. I got filled. I ended up with 300,000 shares at about 8 cents. Now, with the OTCs, if I'm looking to hold an OTC overnight, I want it to finish up near its highs, with strength, and preferably with a good catalyst. In this case, with Bitcoin running, it was a great catalyst, with all the other BTCS and the others running as well. So I did hold that one overnight, and we got a gap up and morning spike on Friday, and I sold right into this morning spike. I ended up getting out at about 11 cents on all 300,000 shares, 11 cent average, that is. And it did end up grinding back up and breaking that high of day, but it didn't matter. I didn't miss out on too much, and I may have said it earlier, but about 10 grand I made on this play. So all in all, it's been a great week, and when you have sector momentum like this, it's you have to take advantage of it. Happened with the shippers last year. Happened with Bitcoin already this year, and now it's happening again. And it's a really, really great opportunity when stuff like this happens to double, triple your small account size. I won't say it's the safest, but it's pretty damn good how these things run together. Key is you don't really want to chase. I mean, all of this here, I don't care that it gapped up and went to 3. I mean, this is all chasing here, and it could have just as easily gotten crushed. Now that being said, I'm keeping an eye on all of these plays because, I mean, if you look at MGTI today, it broke that high from 2 days ago and actually broke 2 today. I'll be watching that one. And let's see, BTCS, it's still struggling a little bit, but it's not dead yet. BITCF actually is hanging in there, and BTSC, the same thing. It bounced today a little bit, and one of the reasons for that is go back to the Bitcoin chart, and this was that day where all the Bitcoin stocks corrected, and that's because Bitcoin corrected, but it's holding right up near its high of 4,400, and it's possible that it breaks that high, and if it does, you may see these Bitcoin stocks running again. It's just a matter of taking safe profits when you can, and you don't want to chase them too much, because if you've ever been caught in any of these things when they're crashing, it's tough to get out of, especially if you have any sort of size whatsoever. So that's why I tend not to chase them, and if I do feel like it's a chase, I'm taking really small size. But all in all, it's been a great week, and it's been some good trading and good profit opportunity, and we'll be looking to keep it going into the next couple weeks. And that's all I got today. Sorry it took a little while, and I'm pretty tired, but we've got I still have to get some work in for tomorrow and some preparation to do for tomorrow. So good luck to everyone tomorrow. If you have any questions or want to see anything else, go ahead and leave me a comment, and subscribe if you'd like. I'll be getting a bunch of these out here in the future. And that's it. Thanks, guys. We'll talk to you soon.